Yo, what's up, team? Welcome back to J3 Entertainment. You guys know what time it is.
Time to react, y'all.
Yes, it is, brothers. And what we're reacting to today.
10 more infamous wrestling receipts.
Ooh.
Okay. All right. But before we get started, shout out to the Wrestling Flashback. Make sure you check out his channel. We're going to leave a link down below. For
sure. Make sure y'all check that out, man. Because that last one was dope.
Yes,
it
you know
was fire. Yeah.
The big payback. I'm mad.
There it is.
Revenge. Get down with my girlfriend. That ain't right. There it is. James Brown, baby.
Yep.
Big payback.
Classics.
So the infamous receipts, bro. You mess up.
Yeah, you get a receipt back.
Yep.
Yeah.
There it is.
There it is. You guys ready to react?
I'm ready, bro.
Yeah,
All
man.
right,
Get these
Let's
headphones
go.
on. All right. Let's get this video started right now.
1, 2, is this on?
In wrestling, a receipt refers to the vengeance gained by a wrestler after an opponent has done them wrong. But sometimes, these aren't part of the script. It's a real eye for an eye. And whether it's given directly or indirectly, wrestlers will dish out a receipt when they see fit. And oftentimes, they'll be on show for the world to see. So in a follow-up to our previous video, we list out 10 more infamous wrestling receipts. During WrestleMania 23, The Undertaker and Batista would go at it for the World Heavyweight title. Early on in the match, Batista unknowingly hit Taker with a stiff shot in his ear. Taker wouldn't take too kindly to this and would keep a note of this throughout their match. Later in the contest, he would go on to hit Batista with a stiff right hook that got him right on the jaw. Batista fell back against the ropes looking kind of dazed.
Wow.
Initially, he thought it was a slip from the veteran, but as he came back to throw the next punch, Taker would be sure to let him know that it was a receipt for breaking his eardrum earlier in the match. Batista would apologize, however, and they went on to have one of the best matches on the card. During the Royal Rumble match in 2003, Tommy Dreamer would enter the match wielding various weapons. Dreamer would then proceed to catch Chris Jericho with 2 tough shots from a kendo stick. The first one was hard, but didn't seem to rock Y2J as much as the second. Jericho would then get his receipt back on Dreamer via a trash can lid and then a kendo stick shot of his own.
Whoa.
As he then threw the kendo stick down in frustration before eliminating Dreamer with the help of Christian. Now, it's not just the men who dish out receipts, as on an episode of Raw in 2021, Charlotte Flair went one-on-one with Nia Jax. During the bout, there was a miscommunication, and Flair started to lay into Jax. It was mainly during the break, so it wasn't captured on television, but even some of the announcers were surprised.
This is getting ugly!
Sure enough, Jax had enough, and in her own words thought, fuck this, and proceeded to give Charlotte a 2-piece that rocked Flair back a bit.
Charlotte Flair does not have an answer for Nia. Nia's gonna maul the queen.
After the altercation, they got back on track and finished the match, but it was definitely intense to say the least. Next, we have an example of someone picking up a receipt for someone else, and this occurred during the 2019 Hall of Fame ceremony. As whilst Bret Hart and Natalya were giving their acceptance speech for the Hart Foundation, a fan would run through the crowd and grab Bret from behind, thus tackling the Hitman and Natalya to the ground.
Whooped his
The fan
ass.
would be immediately physically restrained by numerous wrestlers who were sitting at ringside. However, one superstar took it one step further, as with the fan being rushed away from the scene, Dash Wilder would swoop in, delivering a stiff right hand to the fan, which sent him to the floor. Our next example is one where you can see the wrestler get visibly angered by the stiff shot they received. During a 6-women tag match on Raw in 2018, Brie Bella would catch Ruby Riott square in the face.
And a double team is...
Brie appeared to apologize, but as could be seen from Riott's reaction, she only had one thing on her mind, and that was to give Brie her receipt. And this would come as a result of a quick kick to the shoulder.
Essentially been a non-factor since the early goings of the match. Yeah, when Brie kicked her in the face.
Wrestlers hitting each other for real can lead to a match breaking down. This is what happened when the Great Antonio took on Antonio Inoki in 1977. At first, the Great Antonio began to no-sell Inoki's offense. This will have already angered the Japanese legend, but it was some hard clubs to the neck that was the final straw for Inoki, who then proceeded to let rip at the Great Antonio with some slaps and stiff kicks that ended up drawing blood. The Great Antonio then lay there busted open, and Inoki was mercifully declared the winner as the match was stopped. Sometimes a match can also break down from wrestlers botching, just simply stiffing each other, or both, with a few receipts
some great ass pictures though.
All of this describes the match Big E and Titus O'Neil had on an episode of SmackDown in May 2014. The match first began to fall apart when the two wrestlers botched a clothesline to the outside.
We're going to find out how bland Big E is when he takes on Barrett Sunday. And
this botch appeared to have angered Titus, who then started to become heavy-handed when throwing Big E around the outside. This would be topped off by Titus dropping his opponent on their head, with E landing neck first on the floor. From there, Titus would paintbrush E with slaps.
Damn!
With O'Neil eventually getting himself disqualified due to failing to break on the referee's 5 count. But it was after the bell that Big E would hand out the receipt by smashing Titus in the face.
Wow! Woo!
The assault would continue to the outside as Big E's frustrations continued to grow on account of Titus botching, falling over twice.
Look at Bradshaw sitting there.
Eventually, Big E stood over Titus in the ring, following a true train wreck of a match. Back in 2005, Rene Dupree was the travel partner to Hardcore Holly and Billy Gunn, but he made the grave mistake of crossing Holly when he violated some rules by driving a car in Holly's name. Holly had to go to court after receiving a violating ticket and decided to take his anger out on Dupree. So on a house show, Holly and Charlie Haas were set to face Dupree and Kenzo Suzuki in a hardcore rules match. Holly started to shoot on Dupree, which included hitting him with real punches and kicks and smacking him with a chair, which made his eye swollen. He then went on to beat him backstage later on as well.
Well, during the match, right, I fed for his comeback and he lit me up right in the eye, right? And as soon as he did, my eyes swelled up like right away.
I remember how big it got. He put a wall up on you, man, not just in the match.
Kurt Angle, baby.
It's true.
You know, he's going to kill you. He attacked you from behind. You couldn't even defend yourself. And it was just, it was crazy.
Our next receipt involves New Jack, so you know it's going to be nasty. And it went down when New Jack wrestled Puerto Rican journeyman wrestler Gypsy Joe on an independent show in 2003. New Jack began to first get annoyed due to Gypsy Joe no-selling the original Gangsters offense.
And Gypsy Joe will not sell nothing that I gave him.
However, New Jack was made to eat a potato after receiving a headbutt to the nose, and this, coupled with Joe's no-selling, was enough for New Jack to lay down one of the most vicious, real-life beatings ever seen in a wrestling match. First came the initial receipt in the form of an elbow, and the beating kept going, spreading to the outside of the ring and into the crowd. New Jack would rain down vicious weapon shots one after another as the fans watched on in horror, with some even trying to make New Jack stop the assault.
I beat him, and I beat him, and I stomped him. And I wrapped ball right around his head, snatched it off, and big old piece of hair in it. And I took a baseball bat and beamed him across top of his head and beat him. And then everybody in the audience was calling me the N-word, and I was putting that whooping on Joe like it wasn't going to be no tomorrow.
The match eventually finished in a no contest, and New Jack would later be arrested and charged with assault with a weapon. Receipts can sometimes be given out multiple times as wrestlers look to continue to get their revenge on their opponents. This was what happened during Scott Hall and Kevin Nash's tag team feud with the Nasty Boys in 1996. The first beating took place before the November 18th Monday Nitro, as Hall and Nash attacked the Nasties with chairs. The aftermath was shown at the start of Nitro, with stills being shown later in the broadcast. The Outsiders didn't hold back in taking out Knobs and Sags. Sags in particular would be on the end of a vicious chair shot, which ended up hurting his already injured neck. This fueled the fire when it came to the two teams' feud, as the Nasty Boys had previously been forced to take pay cuts due to WCW's dwindling business. But since then, Hall and Nash had arrived on the scene, each earning upwards of $750,000 per year. Two backstage altercations and a stiff back and forth house show match later, and the two teams collided again at the World War III pay-per-view in a tag match which also involved Meng and Barbarian, with Hall having lost a tooth in their previous live event brawl, and Knobs sporting a bandage covering up a cut from the same match, which would then be reopened as the teams clashed again here. All four men would go right at it from the start, and it remained a hard-hitting encounter throughout.
And I was going to kill him.
Wow! Woo! Look at that super shredder.
The Outsiders came out on top as winners, while the Nasty Boys not only lost the match, but also their jobs as a result of the heat with Hall and Nash. And that brings us to the end of this video. As always, if you enjoyed it, be sure to give it a like and subscribe.
That was a good one right there. That was a good one right there.
Yeah, these are some real receipts right
Woo!
here. Yeah, man.
10 more receipts.
They should have called this one punishment, because people was taking punishment. It wasn't no receipt.
Bro, that was dark.
Yeah. Once again, man, shout out to Wrestling Flashback for the video, man. So,
Wrestling tight, man. I gotta get my Hulu together so I can watch it live again.
Oh yeah, I got some stuff I'm gonna show J3 y'all. And y'all gonna see it when he see it. So
yeah.
No, I was gonna say it's crazy. Like you get those dark moments in WWE and just wrestling period. Like when it comes to like story arcs and then like real life stuff and then backstage and then you got the documentaries and you got the origins behind the stars.
Yeah.
Like it's crazy, man. Like and then like you get this fun part of it. So wrestling has like this mystique, you know, to its main event because sometimes we don't know like what's story and what's not. Sometimes sometimes it just goes there. And it's live sometimes. Like, it's interesting like that. And I remember, like, you know, when we used to watch matches and stuff like that, we used to catch those kind of moments like that a lot of times. Yeah. Sometimes it would be televised. Sometimes it would be pay-per-view events. You never know when it was going to happen. Yeah. Like, wrestling's like, it's fun that way, though. You know what I mean? You just got to be careful.
Yeah. Like you said, you never know when a shot was real in there.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Because, man, we've seen people get it.
Yeah.
And we just hadn't noticed it in time, but looking back on it, you're like, okay, so that was legit.
Yeah, it's crazy looking back, man, because I remember when I was wrestling and I went against Jeff Hardy. And I remember he swanton and it was cool, and then he did a twist of fate, but he did it it was too personal.
Oh, okay.
So then, you know, I had to, I was in my element, you know what I mean? So I'm mad, but I know I gotta let the show go on. So
of course
he tries to do another twist of fate, right?
Okay.
So then I uppercut him.
Tiger.
You know what I mean? And I remember throwing him to the rope. It got a little hazy. And then he came back and I did the elbow. And then I swanton bombed him. I remember that. I woke up.
Oh, shit.
I was in my room. I don't know what happened, but receipts is real.
It happened. Dreamtime receipts. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It can happen any place.
Yep.
Even when you're sleeping.
I mean, well, yeah, that's the realm where Freddy dwells.
Right.
I remember
my match.
I remember making those. You know, we used to play these games and stuff. Day of Reckoning, NWO versus WCW, stuff like that.
Oh,
Revenge, all stuff like that, and No Mercy and stuff. And I would always make my characters, man. My characters were so unique, man. And my specials, I was always an angle slam.
Okay.
And a William Regal punch.
Okay.
You had that punch with that brass knuckle. And that was always my specials, man. And the ankle lock, man. I have all Kurt Angle.
You had the ankle lock. I had the sharpshooter, man. Bret Hart. I had to.
So. Too slow.
Yeah.
You got to do all that, remover and cut.
Yeah, you get countered or knocked out with those kind of.
The sharpshooter, to apply the sharpshooter in the game, you got to hurt somebody first.
Yeah.
They can't get up.
That ankle lock, I will when Day of Reckoning came out and they started monitoring the body, I will attack your feet, attack your legs. So as soon as I get that lock in,
the more grounded wrestling stuff. Yeah.
Shoot. Because you got to get in, get out. Get in, get out. You know what I mean? I don't have time for a pedigree.
Yeah.
I don't have time for all that. Nah, I don't have time for a last ride. The tombstone, don't have time for all that. I want to angle slam you. I'm going to get you. And then I did the I tried Eddie Guerrero's the
Three Amigos.
The Three Amigos, but it was quick, but it wasn't as effective as the suplex, the Kurt Angle suplex. When you grab
angle
boom, and he comes back from behind. Wow, you know what I mean? I was very deep into my characters, man. I actually still have them.
Oh, man, I don't have them.
That's good to know.
I still have them. They're on my memory card.
He looked at us. He's trying to tell us
we can go GameCube right now. It's sitting. The game's over there. The console's under there.
What's your top 10 wrestling games of all time? Did you play any of the arcade stuff too, like WrestleMania?
I mean, I think we all play WrestleMania, but I didn't know what I was doing back then.
Exactly.
It did have that Street Fighter element to it. It was cool though.
Going,
the combos and the.
I mean, you had Raw versus SmackDown, WCW versus NWO.
Yeah.
And WCW was with THQ, I think.
I liked all Nintendo's versions. I thought Nintendo's versions were better because I didn't like SmackDown versus WrestleMania
versus Raw
because you had 3 specials off the top.
Okay. Yeah.
I hated that, dude. It was like what? No.
I like the PlayStation 1 era of SmackDown though.
I like
Know Your Role and the very original. Those were cool. Raw was good. WWE In Your House was pretty good.
I like to build your characters. You know what I mean? Build to that special. So it's that much sweeter.
Okay.
You know what I mean? I remember on No Mercy, you can get off like 5 stunners if you time it right.
Yeah, I was a stunner. I was a stunner
known for
fanatic.
Specials and stuff. Yeah.
I was a stunner fanatic.
WrestleMania 2000 was cool.
The stunner and a clothesline from hell.
Clothesline from hell is great. Ted's big boot too. Man, these receipts though, man. No lie, man. That's some. I like that. I need 10 more.
Man.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, because especially for the Charlotte Nia Jax one, because Nia Jax was a botch machine. Like she was hurting people. When her and Charlotte got into it, we noticed. I was like, oh.
You know, I want to know. We need some Ken Shamrock because I know he was hurting people back in the day. Yeah. And I want to see his receipts.
Okay. Yeah.
I don't think he got them like that.
No, I mean like.
He probably got bills.
Yeah, because Ken
late payments, fees, debits.
Because they were saying Ken Shamrock was really hurting people in the ring, and he wasn't supposed to.
Okay.
But
I believe that
because he wasn't. Ken Shamrock was brought in from MMA without a lot of wrestling training.
Yeah, but he know if he's sharpshooting somebody, he's just taking it too far too, though.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Like,
you know when a submission is, you gotta like pull back a little bit.
So it is what it is. But yeah, Ken Shamrock, he didn't get. I'm doubting he got a lot of physical receipts, but I'm sure he got some bills.
Oh, yeah. And time to pay him up. And collection.
You in debt today.
You know what I mean?
Time to pay up.
But shout out to Wrestling Flashback once again, man. You guys check his channel out, man. I like this episode, man. We got some more content coming for you guys. I sound like Joe Jackson. Yeah.
Stay tuned.
You know he did that at Michael's funeral?
Mm-hmm.
Stay tuned. We got some more talents coming for you guys. Your son is no longer with us.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. All right.
Dark.
Anyway, we got more content coming for you guys, man. If you guys are new to the channel, go ahead and press the subscribe button. Thumbs up this video. Don't forget to share Instagram. And you know what I just realized?
What?
I got a Michael Jackson shirt on.
Guess what? Tito, get a switch.
Story must go on.
All right. If you're new to the channel, go ahead and press the subscribe button. Thumbs this video up. Don't forget to share Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. Also follow us on Instagram and Twitter. I'm J3.
We're on the show.
Woo! It's your boy C.
Road to 100,000 subscribers, guys.